And good morning, everyone. Sorry, I'm running a little bit behind today. A lot of maps to go through today. That's good for you, or maybe bad for you. I'm not really sure. Could be bad for me. But we're going to go through a lot today, but hopefully relatively quick because I don't want to get too deep in the weeds. It's only a Tuesday. All right, we got plenty of time to go way into modeling, but at least want to explain a few things on this Tuesday because there's a lot of different storylines over the next 10 to 15 days for sure. Coming our way. But I hope you guys are doing well. Good morning. Wave meteorologist Brian Good. On this Tuesday, welcome to SnowTALK, which we're not going to have a chance to talk too much about that for a bit, but that's all right. All right, we got enough on our plate in the short term starting to develop. As always, you guys can comment on social media, Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitter. And maybe a bit of a delay, but I will eventually see them. All right, so good morning, everyone. Good morning to Brandon, and I think I saw Les was there. Brian, I think I saw you when you were in Southwest Ohio, I believe. That's where you said you were. And then we got, Adam from Bloomington, Indiana. So good morning to you guys. All right, let's get right into it. Let's move along. All right, so, okay, SnowTALK, the snowboard. I haven't moved it yet. I still have it 22nd to 25th, which is next week. It may get moved. I'm going to give it one more day. And it's not only a situation of moving it, I may have to add another item onto the list. So there's a bonus and waiting, right? So a couple things I want to get analyzed today that I still have to look over on data. So I didn't want to jump too fast on any changes, and I'll explain why that's the case here in just a second. But just let you know, for now, the snowboard is the same. All right, beautiful outside. We do have a lot of mid to high level clouds streaming overhead today. That'll add to kind of a hazy overcast scenario. What's chilly this morning? A lot of 30s out there, especially near Louisville and north, where the clouds took a little longer to flow into the area. But down to the south, you've had them during much of the overnight, so therefore you're already starting off in the 40s to around 15. All right, this is one of the bigger stories that it has been for a while. Obviously, the drought and the burn bans. The number of counties continues to grow. Hopefully, you know where your county is in this list, but just to name a few: Jennings, Scott, Washington, Orange, Lawrence County, Kentucky, it's Trimble, Oldham, including that Bullitt Nelson for a while there. I got a feeling this is going to keep evolving throughout the day today, because today humidity levels do get fairly low. There is a little wind that will kick in. So all those leaves that are laying around are just the fuel that's lying there, waiting to potentially get to a situation where if it's ignited, it can expand rapidly, especially with any kind of wind we get this afternoon. So try again to get those leaves gathered up if you can and get them away from roadways on the edge of your yard there, because if someone throws something at the window, you know what I'm talking about. It wouldn't take much to get a grass fire type situation started. We see several on days like this. I would say the average is 2 to 4 grass fires we hear along the interstate system, usually about 3 or 4 in the afternoon when humidity is at its lowest. And that can not always come from someone throwing something in the window. Sometimes it can be where someone is towing a trailer and the chain hanging off the back end is dragging and it's creating a spark. I've seen that happen actually more times than not. So please just pay extra attention and use some caution, because we are now still into that drought scenario that I got a feeling is probably going to worsen slightly. The ground gets sampled today. Not a great day for it, right? The results will be Thursday. We'll know when that will come out. We are now in the second longest stretch here of dry consecutive days in the area, or 15 days. The longest stretch was back at the end of May into June. I got a feeling we'll at least match that the way the forecast trends are going. We should match for the longest streak of the year. And all the others are actually fairly close together, as you might suspect as well, because we've had other dry spells really since the end of summer that took place. We need about 4 or 5 inches of rain. That's not going to happen, but we need that to get us out of that zone. All right, you can barely see on the satellite where the little film of clouds across Kentucky is. If you look, squint, you can see it mainly again over the Commonwealth, not so much over Indiana. The rain, this is not the wave of rain that's coming our way. Oddly enough, we're going to get rain from a northern feature that's going to move across the Great Lakes and help pull in some rain to the South Pole northbound. This system here, right now, it would be great if this would track north, but it's evolving as part of a dumbbell effect of a tropical wave that may soon become a tropical storm, by the way, into the Caribbean. That's possible, but that system is not going to bother us, but it will, at least for the short term, interact with the slow pressure in the Gulf and create a bit of a delay on us getting our rain until really Friday. It will likely become a fairly decent storm, though, for the northern Atlantic, and likely will have snow evolved on the northern side for Nova Scotia. Could be quite the snow event, actually, for them, as that tropical system evolves into an extra tropical by the time we head into the weekend. Okay, here locally, quiet today, just the clouds overhead, a little cooler today. We got an east wind in the area and a drier wind. Tomorrow, better opportunity to get back into those 60s again tomorrow, and better opportunity to get to 70 to 72 as we head into Thursday. That looks to be the warmest day of the week, would be Thursday. Then the rain arrives as we head into Friday. This is good. It looks to be roughly quarter to now. Even the most recent run of the GFS coming in at 0.65. That's decent. I mean, it's nothing to sneeze at, right? I mean, we'll take that. That would be pretty much an all-day rain. That's the kind of bummer about that, but that's okay. It's okay. It's going to rain, but if you are planning a good nap day or cook inside with family or decorating the inside, if you want to do it before you get to the chaos of everyone arriving next week for Thanksgiving, Friday is a good indoor day for sure. Areas of light rain through the day, we need a good soaking rain, and it gets the leaves wet as well. That helps, again, cut down on the fuel for at least a few more days after that, which really, I think overall, this should help us buy some time as we evolve into the extended. Okay, then the weekend looks good, nice and quiet. Let's get right into the long range. Here is the Euro, and you can see the tropical system that goes into the Great Lakes there, into the Nova Scotia region, producing that round of snow, heavy rain from the eastern seaboard. All right, and then we got our energy that's coming out of the Rockies. And here's where the forecast kind of goes the other way here. The idea, as you're about to see on both different main global models we look at, is the Euro wants to roll on out with a low pressure that actually will hold together decently and create some rain, wind, maybe thunder. I don't see severe. And roll on by not exactly a snow-producing type of setup because it would not have a ton of cold air to really work with. The GFS likes the idea of the northern branch being stronger, and therefore it wants to force the system early next week south and not allow it to come visit us, but instead brings energy along the northern branch, and it would be a colder scenario, and it'll have some moisture with it. There is some energy, so it could be something a little wintry mixed in with that as it pushes through the Midwest, maybe the Ohio Valley as well. Now, I've seen both models go one direction, one go the other. They both were on the same page yesterday of it being suppressed. Euro is back, as you're about to see, to going back to a cutting storm. GFS is not entirely wanting to let go of the northern idea. The problem here, and we'll see how that evolves in the next 12 hours, especially with future model runs today, is the GFS tends to have a bias for being strong with the northern branch and tends to overwhelm systems that roll the Rockies too much to where it's not giving them breathing room, and therefore the Euro idea may not be too far away from the reality. And the Canadian actually matches the Euro. So right now the GFS is kind of staying on its own leg there on that one. But here's the Euro. You see the system roll out with the rain, maybe some thunder, and again the colder air. Not exactly. This is stale cold air. This is not true cold air to get too excited about. This is your true cold up here into Canada. It rolls on by. There was a meeting of the friends for the travel day for the Great Lakes and the big cities. I think right now in travel would likely have some of the bigger delays. There could be a rain issue for Atlanta. And if you back up Atlanta, you back up the whole country, right? But even for Dulles, Reagan, BWI, JFK, and LaGuardia, those could see some delays on the travel day. So if you have a connecting flight there or you're heading there, that's the area right now that looks like may feature some travel issues for the travel day. The rest of the country overall doesn't look too bad. If you're traveling by car here locally, the Ohio Valley, as long as the system moves on by, will be quieting down as well. After that, well, then as I'll get to in a second, then we've got another setup. It's very interesting. We head toward the rest of the holiday weekend, toward the latter half of the holiday weekend. We got a system trying to move out of the Gulf. And this wave would be diving south, and we should have some type of low pressure forming in the mid-Mississippi Valley. That could be interesting because now we got true cold getting involved. Not stale, but true cold. And that's where things could get a little more exciting. But that is the reason why, again, the snowboard could still evolve and change. Now, I looked at the AI version of the Euro. Yes. Modeling now as AI. Well, there's machine learning, which is fairly close. The Euro does have a artificial intelligence model running now. This stuff's all going to replace this one day, guys. It's happening. But this is the AI's thought on the early week system. And you see that it actually indeed, well, you probably, I'm not sure if you know what you're looking at there, but there is basically Kentucky right into here. So it does see that there would be a system that would do what the Euro is trying to do. So I trust AI. I'm on board. Here's the GFS. Again, energy rolls out of the Rockies. Keep an eye over here to the western side or left side of your screen. Rolls on out, but then you see the suppression that happens. This northern branch feature is like, nope, nope, nope. You are not going to develop in Texas and cut up to Kentucky. You're staying down there and heading to the Gulf. Meanwhile, this little wave, which is almost like a clipper-like system, it's got rain and snow, right, into the Ohio Valley as we head into early next week. And a cold travel day with snow showers in the Great Lakes. Not as much rain for the eastern seaboard, of course, because, again, the system's suppressed. And it tries to reload with another wave that would likely do another ripple, have like a slight ridge to it. It'll bump up after the 24th of November, and then it would also be interesting for the latter half of the holiday weekend. So there is an item that is showing up for the latter half of the holiday weekend, whether it's Saturday or Sunday. I don't know. I think it's going to be after Black Friday, the way it's looking now. But both of them get there in two different ways, if you will. So it's interesting to see the two different alignments that'll play in the extended. Here are the ensembles from the GFS looking just at Tuesday. All right, I mean, again, bring this full screen. If they don't have the same thing in every box, then confidence is low. At least half of them don't have the same thing in every box. Confidence is low. And as you can look at here, they all do not exactly have the same thing. If anything, there are more boxes without any system in the area trying to indicate that the suppressed idea is what it likes to do. But there are a few. There are a few here that want to cut the storm like the Euro does. So the GFS, while its main model run you just saw likes to take that system south and not cut it, the GFS, hidden in the details, sort of still agrees. That's the reason why confidence, again, is low right now on the setup early in the week, but we're leaning toward an active system. The midday model runs today, I think today will certainly shed a little more light on that idea. So we'll look and see how that goes. Then we get into the polar vortex, looking down the road. All right, well, here's where things get a little more exciting. We haven't seen a sign yet of that stretched polar vortex idea of pushing the cold air down to North America until the past 30 hours or so. It's starting to show back up, but it's late again in November or even the first 6 days or so of December, we would see that. You can't tell by this image because this frame, unfortunately, cuts off too soon. I'll show you a different one in a second, but right here is where the cold air would loop around and then dive straight down into North America. What will end that risk is if the jet from the Pacific, there's another jet streak showing up. If you have a jet that moves in from the Pacific and then aims right into the lower 48, it will just cut off any type of cold air attack from Canada and floods the lower 48 with warm air, which actually is fairly typical of El Nino to see that. So the idea of the polar vortex trying to stretch some cold air down into North America it doesn't really match a typical El Nino setup. So that's where this battle gets interesting, but it's been holding so far. We'll see what happens down the road. Here's what that map will look like as we head into about mid-December. If you look carefully, there's your core of the polar vortex, and there's the dive of the colder air right into the lower 48. We would feel the effects of that probably mid-December through Christmas. Interesting timing on that one. We'll see. In fact, looking at the latest Euro ensembles for snowfall into December, I know it's always hard to read this, but most of them, as you see here, are in mid to late December now showing up. The Euro, this is the Euro we're talking about, and there's quite a few of them now. Quite a few. And there's some pinks showing up, not just grays, blues and pinks. Yeah, the polar vortex does indeed try to stretch in lower 48. And the jet from the Pacific does not interrupt it. This would be a bit of a game changer for the December outlook. It would be. We'll see if that holds down the road here. I'll have more data on that here very, very soon. Everything moves slow, so I apologize, but that's how modeling works around here. Let's see. Travis, it will snow December even with mild air. Well, it can happen, yes. You only have enough to snow, right? But yeah, that's the thing. I don't know on the snow part entirely. I do see signs of cold air, but you don't want cold and dry. And to be honest with you, I can't rule that out either. That could indeed happen. Okay, everyone good? All right, sorry I got to be short here today, guys. Real quick, let me get to Shonda's question. Isn't the Euro the one that isn't as trustworthy? Hey, look, they're all not trustworthy. But the Euro actually has a better track record than the GFS does. Although I will say the Euro has not done great this past summer. It did pretty rough. So we'll see. They're all not perfect, but maybe the AI is what I need to trust more. We'll see how that goes. We'll keep an eye on it. All right, guys, as always, appreciate you watching. I got to run, get ready for the midday show. Hey, we got plenty of time to analyze all this, right? I know I just threw a lot at you today, but it's only Tuesday. We'll look at it again tomorrow, and we'll look at it again as the week evolves. And then we'll see if the storyline begins to evolve or if we lose it all together.